6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
What's up?
Andy, what's going on, buddy?
What's going on, Steve, the Hitman Scaladesi? We are officially doing our first live stream after the 2021 season is in the books. The Super Bowl, the Rams, they're still celebrating. Samaje Perine? Are you kidding me, Steve? Are you kidding me? On 3rd and 1, you give it to Samaje Perine?
Yeah, sometimes you just got to go with your guys and not try to play head games, right? You know.
That's right. And you know what's even crazier? Joel, what's good, man? Let's get it. 2 days after the Super Bowl, the Bengals announced that they extended Zach Taylor, the man who just decided to hand it off to Samaje Perine on the final drive of the Super Bowl, and then have him in the game for the 4th and 1 where Joe Burrow tried to throw it. And I heard from a different angle that Samaje Perine was not as close to that ball as it looked. However, I still think Joe Mixon, first of all, would have got the dang first down on the 3rd down, but I think Joe Mixon would have, extended himself, dove, tried to catch that ball, whatever he could have done. He's a lot more explosive and athletic than Samaje Perine.
Yeah, that's the kind of play that if Burrow wasn't injured, I bet he would have did like a QB dive or something. You know?
That's true. I was expecting more rushes out of Joe Burrow coming down the stretch in the second half to really get those first downs and keep the ball moving. But he did suffer that injury, and that just goes back to the quality of that offensive line, man. Getting bulldozed by Aaron Donald and Von Miller there. So they've hopefully they're going to improve that. But Steve, I want to ask you, what was your biggest football card takeaway from the Super Bowl?
People love Joe Burrow. People love Joe Burrow. I sold quite a bit of Joe Burrow cards. I mean, I honestly, I'm not exaggerating, spent 5 hours packing and putting labels on shipment to go out. So I've never had that kind of a day before. And people like T. Higgins. I'm not going to go with love yet, but they like T. Higgins. He was my second highest sales for the evening. And then Aaron Donald. Believe it or not, I sold more Aaron Donald than Matt Stafford's. I don't fully understand that from a personal level, but that's just what happened.
Yeah, I could see the price fluctuations in T. Higgins from beginning of the game to the end of the game. It was pretty severe, pretty steep. I pointed out a couple of those earlier in the week. You told me you sold a bunch of Joe Burrows at halftime. You actually, I think you ended a bunch of auctions at halftime that worked out really well in your favor. Were those auctions or buy it nows?
I had timed my auctions to end either just before the game or at halftime. So I did have several that ended at halftime, because not that halftime's not for everyone. Like it's mostly like the wives that are all excited about halftime, and the dudes are like, let me get up and get a beer and check my phone,
Hey, I mean, that's a critical component of watching the Super Bowl, especially that game. What's up, 402 Collectible? Will Kent's, man. Will Kent's, what is good, man? Get you a picture on there, Will. I'm gonna call you Mr. W. Mr. W says, what if a buyer does not pay? Is there a way to make them pay somehow? And this is funny because you and I have been going back and forth in the Patreon Discord server, Steve, about some buyers that apparently their kid got a hold of their phone or what have you, and now they're refusing to pay. So what's the end result there?
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not like a legal ramification. Break some fingers. In a different timeline, that might have been possible, but there's not a way to make them pay. But what will happen is if they are delinquent in paying, they'll be every day eBay sends them an automated reminder, and then you can also choose to send them a message and just say, "Hey, I'm ready to ship this. When can you pay?" and we talked about this on a much longer long ago stream. I encourage you not to cancel their sale right away if they don't pay, for two reasons. One, they might pay, and two, if you cancel the sale within the first 5 days, you may not get your listing fees back. And secondly, you may get a invisible mark against you on eBay for canceling too many sales. So if you get a lot of cancellations, it actually goes against you unless you allow that 5-day grace period.
Wow, so that's a critical grace period right there. 5 days, which could affect the price of your card big time. Especially we're talking about guys in the Super Bowl. We saw the volatility in Odell Beckham from before the injury to after. He's playing incredible, then got hurt. His card values went back down, whereas Aaron Donald's went up. Cooper Kupp's went up after the game, but T. Higgins went down. T. Higgins had 2 touchdowns, but still went down because the Bengals ultimately lost. We're still not out on him. I see guys in the chat. I know guys are definitely bullish on him as well, even though Jamar Chase is the phenom. T. Higgins is right there next to him. Joe 402, I see you guys picking up those T. Higgins cards. So, guys, welcome into the live stream. We've got a partial best ball draft filled up right now. I'm going to post a link in the chat. This is going to be for 2022. This is going to include 2022 rookies, Steve. They just don't have a team yet that they're actually placed on. So that's going to lead to some really fun speculation on some guys like Malik Willis, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, some of these big names coming out of the upcoming draft that we're going to talk about. We're also going to be talking about some sets, doing a little bit of comping on some different high-end sets, looking at scarcity and price value differences. And real quick, I'm going to pull up my pick'ems from the Super Bowl. We were so close to winning, Steve, so close to winning.
Yeah, I'm looking at Joel's comment. I along with several of the guys in the Discord, am still buying T. Higgins. In fact, I got a gold out of 10 Prism T. Higgins over the weekend, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Very nice. You said you got a gold?
Yeah.
Ooh, look at you, man. Do elaborate. What set was this?
I believe Select.
Nice, man. Was it die cut field level?
It was the Select certified out of 10, the gold one.
Oh, the Select certified, dude.
Those are beautiful cards.
Yeah,
man.
Beautiful cards.
They don't get the love they deserve, I don't think.
Beautiful cards. All right, so let me look at results real quick from last week. The pick'ems. Man, look at that. 5 picks. Look how close we were the week before that as well. Man, so close. They're both championship and Super Bowl. But and you know what's funny is we had the wheel pick this under a Cooper Kupp. Of course, MVP, 2 clutch touchdowns, 4th down conversions. Cooper Kupp is the man, but he's now, got Prism cards that are like selling for more than Christian McCaffrey back in 2020 before the season started. So it'll be interesting. I want to look at kind of where he's projected to go for 2022. We got the over because Underdog kicks ass, you guys. New subscribers, new signups on Underdog Fantasy using promo code Quest get 100% instant deposit bonus. They're going to be doing a lot more of these special lines next year where it's like they give you a freebie every week. And then you get to put other picks over unders on players. Plus, we get to do best ball through here, get that 100% instant deposit bonus, and you can draft with us. And we're going to talk about why it's so important here in a little bit. But Tyler Boyd, so close, Steve, 7.3, and we needed 7.5. And then Joe Mixon, if they didn't have Samaje Perine in there on the final drive, we could have got Joe Mixon touchdown. Just saying.
Yeah, and unfortunately, technically Joe Mixon did get a touchdown in the game, but apparently passing touchdowns are not part of the parlay there. So,
yeah, it was not part of. Yeah, Joe Mixon's passing touchdown to T. Higgins, not part of the parlay, but so it's all good, man. So, man, with Zach Taylor signing through 2026, I felt like my jaw hit the floor when I saw that earlier this week. But at the same time, I'm not surprised. I know that a lot of these NFL owners and head coaches is kind of like a good old boy club. And Zach Taylor just, leading the Bengals to the Super Bowl in itself is enough for them to extend him through 2026. But does that mean that we should really be hesitant about investing in Joe Burrow this offseason, as well as like Mixon, Chase, and Higgins, Tyler Boyd, all those guys?
I don't think so. I mean, to say that they'll definitely be in the Super Bowl next year would be a stretch, but they have a upward trajectory, and I think that's what's most important. And not only did they get there without one of their best linemen, I would say that they'll have him back and maybe a free agent or a rookie high draft lineman to help protect Burrow this next season too. If you see how as the season went on, I mean, Burrow's proficiency only went up. If he can do what he did in the last 5 to 6 games of the regular season and the playoffs, make that a more consistent over the whole season, I think he's only going to get better.
Yeah, very true. Very, very young in his career. There you go. What's up, Gator? Gator, what's good, man? Love that logo. So we talk about, the importance of a bell cow running back. We talk about them having Joe Mixon, but not having them in there at the final drive of the game. That was very much like Pete Carroll not handing the ball off to Marshawn Lynch at the end of the Super Bowl where the Seahawks lost to the Patriots. And the importance of a true bell cow running back. And those guys, if you have a true bell cow and you're using him properly, those guys are as rare, probably more rare than a case hit. Wouldn't you say, Steve?
Yeah. I mean, if you got a guy that's almost a for sure thing, he's the guy that should have the ball on the crucial plays.
Check it out. Will came back with a profile pic.
Nice.
Is that Joe Mixon there? Is that Jeremy Hill? It's hard to tell from the picture, but that's a nice RPA. I can tell that. Of course, Ravens excited about his Ravens next year. And all right, this is what we're going to do, Steve. So I want to look at the importance of a true bell cow running back. We're talking about someone that is a 3 down, every down back. These are the guys that are more rare than a case hit. And if you've got them, then the select few of these guys are really the guys that, in my opinion, you want to focus on investing in for running backs. I think there's a lot more flexibility when it comes to investing in wide receivers. Would you agree, disagree, or where would you differ from that strategy, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately you want someone that's the focal point of a team's offense, and it comes down to touches and opportunities. So whether that's a running back that gets 20 carries a game or 10 carries and 8 receptions, if the guy is the focal point of the offense, those are the guys you want. They're going to light up the scoreboard. They're going to light up your fantasy sheet. They're going to make the highlight reels. Those are the guys that are going to drive your card values.
Yep. And if they're a true bell cow, they get more opportunities to make more explosive plays. So we look at guys that are competent and rushing and receiving, and then also their coaches are giving them that runway. They're giving them, 80 to 90% snap share, or even if they're a lower snap share, they're getting 80 to 90% of the carries, and they're getting 80 to 90% of the running back targets. They don't have a grinder and then a satellite back, or a first down running back and then a second and third down running back. That kind of situation where you have a 2-3 headed running back monster. It's a lot harder to pinpoint and get value out of a player. We really want to see them go off, and we kind of see the performances that drive the biggest spikes on these young players, big market teams. The whole hype index formula we talk about, we need to focus on bell cow running backs, which also are the first guys that go in fantasy football drafts, see whether it's seasonal, dynasty, best ball, because those are the guys that are consistently getting 15 to 20 points a week as a floor, right, Steve?
Yeah, if you want the guy that in the goal line is getting the ball, and you want the guy that is the focal point of the offense, like over the years, the LaDainian Tomlinsons or the Adrian Petersons, or in more modern times, the Jonathan Taylors, and when you get that many opportunities, there's something special that comes with that, which is end zone opportunities and the opportunity to break a long play. Those are the ones that really drive market sales. It's the home runs.
Hits the home runs. And so I want to look at that. We can pull up my draft board. I've got a draft that's got a few spots left open, but I'm not sure if we're going to fill it up tonight. Guys, if you're just joining, if you like our content, we appreciate that, Jamie. Appreciate that, Mr. J. Got to get you guys a profile pic. Got the big J in the house. Hey, everyone. Appreciate that. Yeah, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're not. Share with a friend. Sign up for Underdog Fantasy. Play some best ball fantasy with us, because it's all about the draft, right? You don't, when it comes to next season, you just draft it and forget it. They'll optimize your roster on a weekly basis and give you the most amount of points based on the people that you drafted. It's as easy as that, Steve. So really fun formats that. So I signed up for a big board tournament, which includes the 2022 rookies. And when that fills, I'll pull it up, because it's 30 seconds per round. It goes boom, 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 like that, really quick. But in the meantime, I want to see if there's any questions from the chat here. And by the end of the stream, we do have an eBay auction, a live one, that ending tomorrow morning, that Steve handpicked for you guys. He wants to share, believes it's a phenomenal snipe opportunity. I've actually got it pulled up over on my other monitor. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. So, but before we do that, Steve, I want to talk about one potential rumor, and then I want to talk about a set that deserves some more hobby love. Do a little comping on some more rare hobby sets. But first, I want to talk about this Russell Wilson to Tampa conversation is really heating up, man. And it looks like Kyle Trask he's better than maybe a 2022 draft quarterback, draft pick for a quarterback, but definitely not as good as potentially getting Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, it's safe to say the guy is probably still developing, which is fine. But if you could just plug in a guy that's going to go boom right away, who could be mad about that?
Can't be mad about that, man. We're in win now mode, man. The defense is too good. We've got a lot of pieces in place. I hate to lose Chris Godwin if that's the case, because I know he's due a pretty penny on the free agency market. There's rumors he may go to Jacksonville. There's a couple, rumors about Jacksonville picking up a key wide receiver component. And Tua, that's an interesting one. I haven't talked about Tua in a little while. I mean, Tua, what's so interesting about Tua? I would always think that he would end cheaper than Jalen Hurts, but he never does. I see Tua prices continue to stay valued at, they've got a decent floor, especially on his more rare stuff. And I think that just goes to how prolific he was in high school, how highly graded he was coming out of high school, and his college career,
I like Tua. I think that they're working on making that team even better. And, they looked pretty good this season, I thought. The running game could use some help.
I definitely can use some help on that running game, and they got to figure out what they're going to do with Mike Gesicki. We talk about tight ends and the fact that the faster these defenses get, these defensive edge rushers, linebackers, linemen, the faster they get, the more mobile they get, the more I think tight ends become relevant, Steve, because they're big, they're powerful, and the best ones are also really fast, and they can block well, and then they can break out. They can bump that edge rusher at the line and then hit out on a route and get open and get a ton of yards after the catch, like Kittle or Kyle Pitts or Mark Andrews or Travis Kelce, these guys.
Yeah, as the defenses get faster, the tight ends need to get faster and more agile. And you see, you had guys like Tony Gonzalez, Greg Olson in the early 2000s, and now you have, almost every other team has a guy that's an exceptional athlete at tight end now. It's not just big bulky guys that can provide some extra blocking, like Bubba Franks for the Packers or any of those guys. So I think that the game is still evolving, and that's why I'm very intrigued by the tight end position, because they are effectively becoming, in some cases, the first option downfield or the second.
Yeah, I feel like the tight end position as a whole is undervalued. I even look at the value of Gronk's cards. It's a Brady of tight ends, for lack of a better word. He's Gronk. It's like, and I feel like even his cards have room to grow right now, and he's the best of the best, and I feel like that whole position has room to grow as they continue to get more and more opportunities share, more and more Kelce's and Gronks and Kittles start emerging. Kyle Pitts, look at what he did in his rookie year. As those guys start emerging more and more, I look at a guy like Dallas Goedert, potentially on the Philadelphia Eagles, could step into a role like this. And those guys continue to expand their roles. I think they start to, if one of those guys goes off for a 4-touchdown, 200-yard game, Steve, you better guarantee it. You're going to see a big demand spike in their rookie cards.
Yeah, imagine the season Pitts could have had if they had any offensive line whatsoever in Atlanta.
Yeah, it's what games are won in the trenches, right?
Like two lovers.
I'm my man Rodney here with he's got the old timey, the 1800s photo here. I love me some Jalen Hurts. Got the super buy low. Nicholas in the house. Got the zebra going crazy.
I think maybe some of us that invested heavy in 2020 are maybe a little spoiled because there's so many good players, man. There's just so many good players. I think sometime down the road, people are going to look back at this draft class and be like, man, it's not so often you get like a lot of prolific players all out of one draft class.
So many prolific players. If you had to relate it to another draft class, is there one that kind of pops in mind to you?
Not in recent memory, I don't think. I'm not saying that they will be Hall of Famers, but you got like Burrow and Herbert, and you got guys that could be Hall of Famers if they keep the career trajectories up. And then you've got so many good running backs. You've got a Justin Jefferson. It's just beautiful. I love it, man. I got back in at the right time.
You really did, man. You got back in at the right time. I want to also hear from you guys in the chat if there is a draft class that you think is most similar to 2020. One that sticks out to me, Steve, is 2014 and 2017. 2014 for skill position players, because you had Mike Evans, Devontae Adams, Aaron Donald, Odell Beckham, so you had some really big names. I'm not even hitting like Allen Robinson and Brandon Cooks. So I feel like the wide receiver class from 2014 was really lit. There's a couple more guys like Jarvis Landry, Sammy Watkins, that I'm not mentioning either, that came out of 2014. late stick going back to 1983.
Wasn't that around the time that the Buccaneers came to be?
Yeah, I was a little bit. That was like our. I was 1977. I think was our first year, and they had us in the. They had us in. Man, I can't remember the name of the division, but we were in some weird West division with the Seahawks. Actually, it was wild. It only lasted for like a year or two, and then they changed things up.
Look at that franchise had a really hard time getting off the ground, and they really came out as look at the past couple of years and look at like the Warren Sapp, Trent Dilfer, Warwick Dunn era.
Yeah. The 90s, the 1989 draft class was insane too. But I'm loving this. 1983 late sticks all over. Yeah, dude. Eric Dickerson, John Elway, Dan Marino, Darrell Green, Howie Long. What's good? Brian in the house, Steeler 96. Check out. So we got one spot left in the big board that's about to start, Steve. This is not the private draft. This is a $10 big board. This is a tournament on Underdog that first place wins $50,000, bro. So you would find out who won by the end of the season, right? Week 18. So this fantasy football season does not start till week 1. This also includes 2022 rookies. And so we're about to go. We're about to draft right now. And I'm going to pull up this draft board. I'm going to pull this over here so I can actually pick my players.
All right. Well, what are you thinking for, you got the 10th pick there? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I got the 10th pick. So this is interesting. So I may not have a true bell cow running back available come my pick. And so my thought process is to always go with the best available player. This is half point PPR. So if I can I also want to think about divisions and teams that have, and this is one intricacy that we don't have yet. We don't have the 2022 schedules. So we don't necessarily know who's going to have the hardest versus the easiest schedule yet. We do know that teams with the worst records are going to get easier schedules, but we don't have the actual schedules yet. And of course, there's going to be tremendous shakeup in the personnel on teams. So
I'm always hesitant to take a tight end too early, but a guy that I see frequently go at 10 is Kelsey.
At 10 is Kelsey? Dude, if I could get Kelsey at 10, I would take him as a tight end. I mean, he was a 2013 rookie. I think as a tight end, I mean, he's still got plenty of good years left in him, So I would absolutely, yeah, I'm going to keep riding that Kelsey train as a number one. Either that or Mark Andrews. I mean, Mark Andrews, it's hard to argue against him.
Too. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Andrews actually finishes as the number one tight end, and he had the same chemistry with Tyler Huntley. So if they run him back they re-sign him as their backup to Lamar Jackson. Man, dude, I'm really liking Mark Andrews as well. And I think the Ravens would get an easier schedule, most likely. And they could be in more shootout scenario type games, especially if their defense. So you can see here 3 bell cow running backs: Derrick Henry, who took steps forward receiving game, Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor. Those are still going to be 3 of the highest, most liquid, active running back rookie cards to invest in right now.
Yeah, Cup's not going to get to 10, unfortunately.
Yeah, no.
I don't think Devontae Adams will even get to 10, honestly.
I don't think so. I think it's I'm surprised that you can't argue against the historic season Cup had. Look at Jamar Chase going right after him. Eckler, another true bell cow. And Eckler doesn't have many rookie cards. I love the scarcity around Eckler's rookie cards. I know a lot of people say, but he's not big, he's not flashy like a Derrick Henry or Jonathan Taylor. But Eckler is just a freaking stud.
He's a monster. That's all that matters.
He's a monster. That's all that matters. And he's shacked up with one of the best quarterbacks in the league who generates a ton of hype. And I've seen values go up in Eckler's rookie cards. What's interesting, I've made a couple sales this week on some kind of deep round wide receivers, some pretty decent rookie card sales. And I can already kind of see the speculation and the hype kind of picking up for some of these guys on where, the kind of 2022 season they're going to have. Because right now, everything from now until September, everything that's going to drive the card market is all speculation. So
you're going to take Adams or Kelsey?
Yeah, let's see. So running backs, Dalvin Cook, which I'm kind of concerned about his 2022 bell cow status. DeAndre Swift, Joe Mixon's there still, but Adams is there. I mean, Adams is there. I think he stays with Rodgers. I think I got to go Adams in this sense. He actually, who I could have gone with as well? Deebo Samuel.
You'll be able to get him on the way back, I think.
You think so?
Yeah. I've watched a couple of these, and it seems like he's been going like early to mid second round. But we saw Jamar Chase go early, so it oh, there he goes.
Oh,
Diggs. Okay. You could get Kelsey here.
I could get Kelsey, or I'm so tempted to take Joe Mixon. But if Kelsey's still there, I mean, so if I don't get Mixon here, then that means I'm going to be stuck like with guys that are potential in 2-3 headed running back situations, or I want Kelsey, but I also think I need to get Mixon. I think I got to do it.
Roll with Mixon.
Yeah, I mean, because if not, I'm going to be waiting too long to get a running back.
And there's quality in like the second and third tier tight ends too. But when you start getting into lower running back tiers, there he goes, next pick.
That's the thing. You start getting into lower running back tiers. I mean, you're literally that's a losing recipe. Like the paths to victory in your fantasy football leagues, especially in best ball, because we're talking the players are going to have the most fantasy points throughout the duration of the season, which also make phenomenal football card investments. You want to have those bell cow running backs.
Do you have a way to show like on the bottom of the screen, like maybe the player pool or something, so we can see?
I do have the player pool over here on this side.
Oh, okay.
So I could minimize this and show you part of this and part of the player pool.
Yeah, or if you could just cover the future rounds that we don't need to see yet.
Yeah, now that I can do. Let's see. So if I did this, I could do like this right here, and now you can see the where we're at right here. And yeah, you're not seeing the full, and I could just pop that. And so over here is the available player pool. So QBs, RBs, wide receivers, tight ends, or I could, just select one group, or we could search.
How are you feeling about QBs? Because I feel like there's a lot of good QBs that you can go with.
A lot of good QBs that are stacked up.
To wait till late to grab a QB, or?
Yeah, because I look at a guy like Trey Lance. If he's, he's pretty much going to be the starter in 2022. I think that all signs pointing for him to be the starter.
I mean,
his rookie cards are sure as hell been trading like there.
Look where Stafford and Rodgers are. I mean, that's just insane to me. And look where Russ is at. There's no way Russ has another bad year. There's just no way.
I'm with you, man, especially after watching him in the Pro Bowl and those practice things. Like,
dude, those were like laser guided missiles he was throwing.
Oh my gosh, man. There's no way. That was just a fluke year for him with the way the finger and everything. Oh man, I'm with you. The defense has got to be better. I think it's definitely a bounce back year for Russell Wilson. If he stays in Seattle or if he goes somewhere, he's going to be even better situation. Russell Wilson's a really safe investment play. 2012 rookie too. So it's like, can't go wrong with first year Prism. And I was looking at those. I mean, yeah, base Prism is around $100, but it's a first year, and the scarcity on that is significantly more than a base Prism of Mahomes, or look at Kyler Murray from 2019, Josh Allen from 2018. He's got $100 prisms. Mahomes, obviously, raw prisms are closer to $1,000, but 2020 Justin Herbert base prisms are close to $100. Joe Burrow's got over $100 in the Super Bowl. So to get a Russell Wilson one for $100,
to really put it in perspective for people too. If you look at what the Prism Silvers go for from that year, it's insane. I mean, the price difference from the base to the Prism Silvers is insane.
What's good, Bark? Yes, sir. We absolutely are. And we absolutely are doing best balls for money. There will be no money realized until December of 2022, but we're doing them now because we want to get an idea of where the entire player pool for the NFL is ranked right now for the 2022 season. This is your direct hype index, because the draft position of where these guys are going are indicating how hyped people are and how demanded their rookie cards are in the market. It's almost a direct correlation in the offseason. And this includes 2022 rookies. There haven't been any taken off the board yet, but they won't have a specific team landing spot, but they are on here and they are available to draft from. So we can speculate on those guys as well as they come. I'm pretty sure we're going to see like the running backs and the wide receivers obviously taken first. There's a lot of like big offensive tackles, edge rushers coming out of this draft, corners. Derek Stingley Jr. from LSU. Aiden Hutchinson is the edge rusher.
All right. Who are some of our targets that we're looking at here?
All right. So we are about to be on the clock. You see Mahomes, Josh Allen. No surprise there. Zeke just went. Okay. So here I really need to go. You look, I've got one wide receiver, one running back. Cam Akers is out there.
David Montgomery. I love me some David Montgomery.
I do too. And this is my thought. If I get him, I should probably. How do you guys in the chat feel about that David Montgomery pick in the third? I feel like if David Montgomery, that guy, David Montgomery, it does do it all. And he figures out a way. And he's actually really young.
Think about what he did fantasy wise in a broken offense this year. So imagine if they can get it together.
I made some money on David Montgomery in 2022, and it was in the back half of the season. It was purely driven on his performance. They had an easier than average schedule. Okay, look, Calvin Ridley. I'm telling you guys, I see this in the card market too. Calvin Ridley is getting some hype picked up back for him. Look at this, Calvin Ridley going in the beginning of the fourth round. All right, I've got a draft. I think I'm going to go back to wide receiver here. Also have Hawkinson, Goddard. I think, man, I love Terry McLaurin. He's such a stud, dude.
Mike Evans, though, huh?
Mike Evans is there, but we just, I guess I got auto drafted on accident. You got to be quick. This is who did I get? Cam Akers. All right, well, I have noticed that Cam Akers does function as a bell. He functioned as a bell cow in the Super Bowl. They definitely extend that opportunity to him. I mean, and he's the youngest guy on the team. I think he's got a clear hold on the lead bell cow role in that Sean McVay offense. So.
Definitely done with running backs for a while.
Yeah, but see, I feel like I've got a very solid running back core. I've also got a stud Hall of Fame wide receiver as my number one pick. Obviously, those guys are going to be your most liquid investments right now in the first and second rounds. Look at one guy that I noticed, and I'm like, man, nobody ever sleeps on this guy, even though Seattle just had a terrible season. You know, Russell Wilson card prices are down overall. And I think they're going to go back up. They may already be going back up by the time I look at them after this live stream. But DK Metcalf, I constantly like on, especially on his more rare stuff, Steve. And this is an interesting research study that I want to do, especially on DK's more rare stuff, because they stay very expensive. DK's cards on his more rare stuff.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Absolutely. And what was I going to say? Oh, it had to do with our next pick. Oh, tight end. I was going to talk a little bit about TJ Hawkinson.
Okay.
And, you know, he didn't have the best year. He was injured a bit, but it's important to note how efficient, or even better than efficient, the offense was the last third of the year when he was hurt. I think that he's a huge bounce back. And if you can get him at a value, you know, he's a guy that if this was last year would have been drafted already.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. He was up there going in the top 3, top 5 tight end category. It's going to be interesting to see how far he falls. Part of the reason why I think, and potentially TJ Hawkinson may potentially fit into this category a little bit, Steve, because he was hyped up last year going into last year's season. He was also had some hype in 2020 as a second year breakout candidate going in 2020. And DK Metcalf obviously had a monster 2020, and his card values got very high. And 2020 is when we saw a ton of new people, including myself and a lot of you guys in the chat, get into the hobby. And that's when I started this channel, was in the summer of 2020. And we saw a big sports card boom heading into the 2020 season. And I think a lot of people at that time bought DK Metcalf cards. They bought Terry McLaurin cards. They bought some TJ Hawkinson and more rare stuff too. And now they're just like not willing to part ways with it for less than what they paid for it. Right. And they probably want to also make a little bit of money on those cards because they know how talented they are. And from a dynasty fantasy football's perspective, guys that you're stuck with across their entire career, unless you trade them for upcoming draft picks, like upcoming rookie draft picks, or you trade them for other players on other people's teams, then you're stuck with those guys. And you know, that
I was gonna plug Amon-Ra St. Brown after you were done, and he just went.
They're going, man. They're run on wide receivers. So I'm in an interesting spot here in this best ball draft.
I think you got to go receiver here for sure.
Yeah. Let's here, let me minus this. Look at the wide receiver pool. Chris Godwin's not next up to bat. I'm really unsure if he's going to make it back to Tampa Bay 2022.
Hunter Renfro's interesting.
Ooh, especially if he stays with Derek Carr. I mean, that's like Derek Carr's Cooper Kupp right there, man.
And even Gabe Davis. Maybe Gabe is a slight reach, but maybe not.
I like a lot of these picks. I like Darnell Mooney. Gabe Davis just went. He just went. Gabe Davis, Michael Thomas, Gabe Davis, and Michael Pittman.
Look, all receivers that round, except
all receivers. So yeah, we gotta get it. I'm totally fine going Chris Godwin
or Renfro. I think's the way to go.
You think Renfro?
He's been such a big part of that offense. I think that's not going to change for him.
Especially if he stays with. I'll go with it. If
Godwin wasn't being linked to the Jags, I would say. I mean, any other team, I would say go Godwin, but the Jags are still dysfunctional, in my opinion.
The Jags are still dysfunctional, but I think that you got to step out on a limb and roll the dice on some Jags players this year. Because Doug Peterson, man, he's a coach's coach. He's a guy's guy, former Super Bowl winning coach from the Philadelphia Eagles, Steve, former quarterback. I mean, he's no schlub. He's no Urban Myers.
Here
I
comes the
think.
quarterback run. Here's the quarterback run.
Oh shoot! I got to go quarterback then. Should I stay on the wide receiver train or should I go quarterback?
Who do we got for quarterback available?
We got Joe Burrow. We got Dak,
Oh.
Rodgers. Got a few. We got Jalen Hurts still out there, man. Russ.
How could you? I don't know, man. I don't know how you could not take Burrow at this point. My opinion. But I think a lot of those receivers will still be there on the way back.
Really? I went Mooney.
That's okay. Mooney's a good pick.
Only
there.
because I saw so many receivers or quarterbacks still out there. I'm thinking.
And if you don't get Burrow, like there's some salvation in a couple of the guys still there. Because I think that who Burrow is now is not who Burrow was that started the year last year. You know, and that's where his current ADP is based on.
Burrow's ADP?
Yeah. They're basing it on his season performance, not how he, you know.
And you highlighted to me it was the last 4 games of the season, right, Sean?
Yeah.
Sean, shout out to Sean Sharp and the hobby. Steve, right? Steve showed me last week that through the last 4 weeks of the season, Joe Burrow only scored 2 less fantasy points in that stretch than Justin Herbert. However, Justin Herbert's ADP, as you can see, is 2 full rounds ahead of Joe Burrow in this draft.
Yeah, I mean, he was really slinging towards the end. And I think that that's going to be more of the norm going forward.
And you can see how far Kyler Murray has fallen. Why has Kyler Murray fallen this far? I think it's speculation because we don't know what the hell he's doing, unfollowing the Cardinals and all his social media stuff. He's off the grid right now. Nobody's talking about him. He threw an ugly pick 6 in the playoffs. Nobody's talking about Kyler Murray. I've seen some of his cards go way undervalued. Is a huge question mark right here on this guy was one of the top 3 quarterbacks. A lot of people were taking him number 1 overall last year, Steve.
If that's a guy you're interested in buying, it is a great time. I mean, I don't have a ton of his stuff, but I've picked up some of his, his optic rated rookies for, I mean, like $30. The graded ones.
You know what, Will? I'm sorry, brother. I can't get down with Saints players this year. I think Saints have already come out and said that, not directly, but with promoting. Oh man, his name is slipping my mind. You know the name, the defensive coordinator's name in New Orleans. They promoted him to the head coach. He was the interim head coach for a week last year when Sean Payton had COVID. We know Sean Payton has stepped down, taken a hiatus. I think the Saints, by promoting him, they're saving a ton of money. I think the Saints are going into rebuild mode. I think the Saints are basically going to chalk up next year to whatever it is. I think the Saints are already trying to get into rebuild mode. So I think 2022 is not going to be a great year for the Saints. So I'm avoiding Saints players.
A lot of that's going to hinge on who they started quarterback.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, man.
If they bring in a guy, that's like a game manager, above average quarterback, they actually have a shot at going back to the playoffs. But if they bring in like Taysom Hill again, I mean, I like Taysom Hill, but I don't think he's going to take you to a championship. Oh man, there goes Hawkinson.
There goes Hawk in the 7th round. So you can see he's got the best value. Guys, I'm telling you, if you were to go and comp, certain guys, we talk about the hype index formula, it's expectations. Well, you're looking at what their expectations are right here on the screen heading into 2022. So guys with lower expectations are going to have a lower ADP, average draft position, go lower in the draft. Robert Woods, look how far he's fallen, Steve, and his counterpart. Robert Woods could have been the Cooper Kupp this year, but Robert Woods wasn't meeting Stafford for breakfast and wasn't eating the same, I guess, Wheaties that Cooper and Stafford were eating because Robert tore his ACL in practice halfway through the season. And
I wouldn't be really surprised if they move him, honestly.
Yeah.
To bring in some money to get a couple other guys, because look where they won the Super Bowl essentially without him. So he's not like, they have young receivers in Van Jefferson and Ben Skornick, however you pronounce it. Oh, we got some action here. Who are we taking?
Oh yeah, we got to go quarterback. I think this is our time to go QB right here. Let's bag him up.
Unbelievable that you can still get Rodgers or Russell Wilson at this
point. Which one? Which one, Steve? I got chat. Guys in the chat, I got 10 seconds.
Go Rodgers, man. Go Rodgers.
Rodgers, don't overthink it, right? Because I can always double back and get another QB. Fields is still out there.
And it's a best ball, too. So we're going to get another good quarterback still. We're going to get it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if I've got Rodgers, which we know could go nuclear on any week for 40 points, and then I get another guy that's more speculative.
And you know what? Now, I don't know if you realize this, but you have Devontae Adams and Rodgers now.
Oh, and see, that is a beautiful dynamite stack. See, wasn't thinking about that because I was like 10 seconds. And hey,
right, we got action,
Garrett Wilson off the clock. We got our first 2022 rookie off the clock.
So tight end or receiver here.
I think we got to get more receivers, Steve. Allen Robinson.
Oh man,
I got to do it.
Are you gonna do it? Are you doing it? I don't know, man.
I'm going back to the well, man. I know. The thing is, when has Allen Robinson ever burned anybody 2 years in a row? Never. Hasn't happened, man. He's got to bounce back. It's like, I don't know. To me, he's a screaming value, both fantasy and obviously rookie cards. I think that 2021 was a fluke for A-Rob. And I think I'm hoping that he moves. I think a fresh start would be big for him.
Could you imagine that the Jaguars get Allen Robinson back and Chris Godwin? Could you imagine how good they could become all of a sudden?
Oh man, that would be nice.
I mean, that could be pretty prolific, honest.
That could be really prolific, and that's like a sneaky play with some really big upside that would just take blindside everybody in 2022. But I could totally envision it and see it happening, and that's kind of stuff I want to get in on now. Might as well. I mean, the guy's a stud.
I think that Darnell Mooney's another guy that, like you mentioned earlier, some of his low stuff doesn't sell for much, but his high end stuff sells for a lot. He's another guy because as a Bears fan, I keep an eye on his stuff, and there's just guys that are Bears players that I collect that are so hard to collect because some of the stuff shouldn't be worth what they're selling it for. And Cole Kmet's one of those guys. I love Cole Kmet, the tight end, young tight end for the Bears, but even his not high end stuff goes way above value because Bears players, Bears fans love Cole Kmet.
They love them some Cole Kmet, man. And the thing is, he's not anything like, from what I've seen, he's not anything super special.
And I'm not saying that he is Kelsey. He could be near that potential, but the guy just doesn't get the ball very often. And he's a smart football player. He's got a big body. He's quick. But, agility is not the best, but he's pretty quick.
I like the comparable of Vance McDonald. Vance McDonald was solid. Some epic stiff arms there. But, I mean, quite a bit of draft capital. Early second round, you definitely got that.
Look at that
big
weight
body
and speed combo. I mean,
it's 262. Man.
That's really, he's pretty quick. So, I mean, as the season went on, he started putting some good games together. So I'm hoping that, if Justin Fields can figure it out at the pro level, that he could be, pretty good guy.
Yeah, this is an advanced fantasy stat that we talk about a lot, guys. Air yards, 737 is quite a few air yards for a tight end. And that's basically the yardage of all intended targets. So if we were to realize all those air yards, he would have had 737 receiving yards, and then he would be going way up here in a different draft category. Different tier, I should say.
So what are we going to think about another receiver or another quarterback coming back this time?
I think we should think about at this point. I think we should about completing some of our stacks and
Okay, so
handcuffing some of our guys.
Herbert maybe, or
Who?
Khalil Herbert, backup Montgomery.
Yes, I do like some Khalil Herbert. Was that cat even printed in a lot of product?
Donruss, I think, is one of the few that he's in.
Because he was super consistent and for an explosive. I mean, yards per carry last year was really solid. 4.2 average yards per carry on 103 rushing attempts is really solid, man.
Yeah, he looked really good.
And the thing is, he's nothing too flashy, 5'9", 210, but what has he got going for him on the hype index? He's a 2021 rookie. Now, he didn't get drafted till the 6th round, but, you know, a guy that young that a lot of people have never seen, that big of a market team can go out and have a few touchdown game, put up 180 yards on a Thursday night game, just like one Ernest Johnson did for the Browns last year, and all of a sudden you see people spending quite a bit of money on his more rare cards.
I mean, Elijah Mitchell was a late draft pick. He went as a 4th round pick in this best ball draft. So.
I want to be more bullish on Elijah Mitchell this offseason too, because I like him. I think he's explosive, he's fast, he's young, big market, but Deebo Samuel getting those carries, it's hard for me to and I would love to get a Kittle, but he's so damn expensive because he just wasn't printed in but like 3 cards.
Ooh, Rashad Penny that late. That's a great pickup.
Oh, you think Seattle's gonna re-sign him and they're gonna big year for Penny this year finally?
He looked like he had rookie wheels on, man. He had some legs, and
he's not that old.
Yeah, no, but he has been hurt his whole career.
I know the guy.
And when he was hurt and would come back, he was always like out of shape. So he looked like elite. I dare say he looked elite when he came back.
All right, we've had another run on running backs here.
Yeah, what are our running back options here?
RBs.
Tony Pollard.
I gotta go Pollard, man. You know how much I love Tony Pollard.
Even Cordero Patterson and Melvin Gordon still being there. Those are some incredible draft picks at this point of the draft. Even Alexander Madison possibly.
Robinson, Gainwell.
But yeah.
But I just, Zeke. I know Ezekiel Elliott. He's one of he's younger for his age, but he is for a running back. Pretty much over that age apex.
Yeah, I mean, he did look a lot better after he was a little bit healthier, but yeah, the running backs are starting to.
I think Zeke's got a year left, but you saw it this year, man. There were games where Tony Pollard outscored Zeke, and
with fewer opportunities.
Yeah, and Tony Pollard got more receiving work just because Tony Pollard is freaking good, man, and he's a few years younger than Zeke. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that he's on that rookie contract, so Zeke is eating up a ton of space. So it's like Tony Pollard is on his heels. Okay, now I think we go back wide receiver or look at quarterback. Deshaun Watson.
Oh man,
do we throw a flyer on him?
I would probably get another running back or a receiver
Cousins.
First. Yeah, see if you can
Spiller's
get
a rookie.
Herbert if you got time. Oh, we're out of time.
Who do I get?
Yeah.
Chark. I would get Chark. Actually,
you missed the window, brother.
Oh, not great. 30 seconds, man.
Yeah, you gotta be ready to pick when the previous guy's up.
Okay, so we gotta look up Isaiah Spiller. I know he's one of the top running backs going in the draft here this year, and I've heard a bit about him. Like if there's concerns about him, he comes out of Texas A&M, and I've got his high school workouts. I don't have 20.1. I'll say, look at this. This is some little. Looks like more of a satellite back, but no, 6'1", 225. That's a big dude, man.
see what they say. Top ranked
6'1".
running back was the top ranked running back in DraftWire's latest positional rankings. So that's a good sign.
Oh yeah, over 1,000-yard rushing 2020, 21. Solid amount of touchdowns. Plus he's getting a healthy amount of receptions. Only 10% target share though. So
Spiller's ranked 85 on the Pro Football Focus Top 100 Draft Big Board.
he's got some size to him, man.
Looks like
He's
a little
got
bit
some
like Matt
size to
Forte.
him.
Looks a little bit like Matt Forte out there.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right. I mean, if Pro Football Focus said that he was 85 on their board and you got him at 111, that's pretty good value.
Hey, that's kind of the capitalization you can get on some rookies because most people don't know who they are. They don't, they're not in like the crazy deep fantasy football game like we are.
I'd like to point out how much later Melvin Gordon went than the Javonte, who went in like the first round. Like
Did Javonte go in the first round?
I think he did.
No way.
Or second round.
He did go early second too, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
And their output last season was very similar fantasy point wise. But, this just goes to show you, like it translates into the hobby too.
Mm-hmm.
Melvin Gordon cards selling for exponentially less, because he's a few years older and but output wise, they're very similar.
And that's the thing. Melvin Gordon now is what, 30 years old?
Probably around there.
I mean, he's a 2015 rookie, 2015 rookie. So he's going into his 7th year. And so, yeah, he's probably getting up there.
Both of those guys are up on the Chargers. They're going to both, or excuse me, the Broncos. They're they're going to have, he used to be on the Chargers. But yeah, they're going to have a great year, especially if they can pull in a quarterback.
Not to mention Melvin Gordon ran the ball like damn near 1,000 times in college. And like Jonathan Taylor, it's not like Antonio Gibson coming into the NFL with 70 career rushing attempts in college. And now he's got learn a new position. It's like fresh legs like Deebo Samuel or Cordell Patterson. Melvin Gordon, Jonathan Taylor, these are guys that Derrick Henry had a lot of mileage in college, and they're still kicking at a high level. Obviously, Derrick Henry still got, his rookie cards, especially on his more expensive stuff, are really expensive. And he actually went number 1 overall. Someone took him over Jonathan Taylor in this draft. If you had the 1.1, Steve, would you pick Derrick Henry number 1 overall?
I probably would have went Taylor, honestly.
Yeah, I think I would have went Taylor. I think from what about from a rookie card investment perspective? We talk about the bell cow running backs here in the first round from these case hit bell cow running backs.
You might want to check if it's your pick because it was coming up.
Yeah, I am. Oh man, Cole Kmet just went off.
No way.
Dang. Cousins is gone.
Palmer.
I think I might.
Maybe.
3.
Do you want to handcuff or do you want to take a receiver here?
I still don't have a tight end.
Yeah, who's available? Irv Smith. Wow.
Oh baby, look at Gronk. I hope he's still there coming back because that's my guy. And we could talk about my speculation on Gronk. Oh, Van Jefferson's still out there. Laviska Shenault's still out there. I think I'm going to go Shenault right here. Maybe they're going to go Shenault. Oh, I missed my pick. Dang, man. You got to be quick.
Yeah, honestly, that was the one gripe I had with the underdog best ball drafts is it's so fast. It's so fast.
Yeah, well, they like to keep the pace up. I get it. But yeah, you do got to be on point. Right. And that's the benefit of queuing guys up because you can star them. Like you could star a bunch of guys and then you can move them around. You say, oh, I want to get, this guy or this guy. And so that's the kind of the thought, queue guys up. And I guess
you're up right now, brother.
I'm up. Okay.
You gotta pay attention.
All right. So we got plenty of running backs. I really need a wide receiver tight end. LaVisca Chenault's still up there. I'm doing it. Come on. Got him.
If Gronk's still there on the way back, I don't know how you don't take him. I mean,
I'm taking him. Yeah. And I'll tell you why. Because he's not retiring, even if Brady does.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is this is the kind of thing I could see happening where like no one says a word till like a week before training camp, and then like Brady and Gronk both resign. Like that seems like some stuff that they would do.
Yeah, it does, man. Dude, that would make my day. You're gonna see me with the biggest smile in the world. I'm gonna be all kinds of giddy coming on this show. I'm popping champagne bottles.
In our hypothetical starting receivers, who are we looking at right now?
Okay. Let's talk hypothetical. Yeah, because we can reflect on the draft board once it's over. I should be getting more prepared. Let me unstart James Robinson for now. We got Russell Gage still in Atlanta. LSU. Julio Jones. He's not done yet. Still kicking it. Curtis Samuel. Whew, that's an interesting one. Curtis Samuel could do some really dirty things this year. But so could Mecole Hardman. We've said that about Mecole for the last couple of years. We like KJ. Really
Hardman actually showed signs of life for like the first time towards the end of the year there. What do you think about Nico Collins?
Oh, I think some good stuff about Nico Collins.
Nico Collins, because Davis Mills is kind of coming around, and he's going to need someone to throw the ball to.
Hell yeah. I'm a Davis Mills truther, man. Where's Filthy C at? Dude.
What started as a running joke is now not a joke.
It's not a joke anymore, man. He changed his whole avatar in the Fantasy Football League. You guys in the chat, let me know if you started Davis Mills in your fantasy football team at any point last year, or if you're a Davis Mills believer. He became the General Mills, man. He picked apart the Patriots defense like nobody's business. You give that guy time in the pocket, Steve, I think he could be lethal.
Yeah, they need a running back really bad down there.
Really bad. So, and some offensive line.
Dolphins running back has been selected so far.
Wow, but there you go. I mean, there's Tua. From a fantasy perspective, I think someone got him out of value, but this is also best ball and it's half point PPR. There's no QB bonuses. It's standard scoring. It's not a 2 QB league. You can only get points for 1 QB in a given week. So I get where he got Tua. Plus, he's got Mahomes way up here in the third round. But this is the interesting thing. Because Tua went to Alabama, because Tua was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school and blah, 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 Tua still routinely sells for more than Jalen Hurts on his more expensive stuff. I think that's kind of like, you've got some really diehard Tua fans out there because of his past.
Let's see.
Late Stick coming with the Kurt. Yeah, well, Late Stick is a huge Washington Commanders fan, and I still haven't seen that new logo. Have you seen the mascot for the Commanders?
I think I did, and I don't remember what it looks like, which is usually a bad sign because something like that should be memorable. But I mean, I made a comment on their Facebook page, and I was like, no big deal. You guys have only had 3 different logos in 3 consecutive seasons. I mean, like, why not make it a 4th?
Why not make it a 4th, man?
What are we thinking for the next go here? Because we're gonna have a boomerang pick where it's gonna come back real quick.
I got to get some resemblance of a tight end.
We need.
Yeah. No, you know what? I don't. Right? I could throw a dart throw at tight end. There's guys that have receiving potential that we'll look at for sure. I could throw a dart throw.
What do we got for? I like Irv Smith too. If Gronk doesn't play, but what do we got for other quarterbacks?
The Mac Attack is still out there. Oh, he's gone. Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's out there. The
You know, if Winston ends up being the Tampa quarterback, which is probably the most likely
Oof.
scenario, that could be.
I'm here for it.
That
I'm
could be
here for it. Through the good times and the bad, I'll be on cloud 9 through the first half and pulling out what hair I've got left in the second, man. Oh, I'm on the clock, Steve. We can't go Wilson now. I mean, I think we've got room to not go Wilson. Oh, I lost my pick. That was quick. Wait, I saw my phone, like I just hesitated. Back on the clock. Man, these guys are picking quick. They must be on auto. I did get Winston because he was in my queue. See, that's what the beauty of having guys in your queue. All right. So it's going to pick me Mecole Hardman. You know what? If I don't get a pick, we're going to go Cedric Wilson. I've got Tony Pollard. I'll get some exposure to that Dallas defense. I do like Nico Collins. I really like Cedric Wilson. If they trade Amari Cooper, Cedric Wilson stepped in big time. And we know Michael Gallup has struggled with injury concerns, and there's a potential he gets moved as well. That moves potentially Cedric Wilson to the number 2 wide receiver in a prolific offense that is unfortunately going to be run once again by Mike McCarthy, but still, Dak Prescott is prolific, and you'll have a solid rushing game, solid O-line. The defense is going to be really good, so, and they're one of the biggest markets, if not the biggest market in NFL. So there you have it.
Take a look at what tight ends are still there, just out of curiosity. Irv. I like me some Irv.
Irv had a nice little run last year, but still got Gronk out there, man. I'm putting all my marbles on that. If it can come back around.
The only reason Irv's ranked that low is because he missed the whole year, so.
Yeah. Njoku is a beast, but he just doesn't get the opportunity sharing the tight end core with Austin Hooper. And you got Baker Mayfield as your quarterback.
You wanted to talk about a dart throw. Dan Arnold, bro. Arnold.
Oh, yeah, baby. We're talking about that Jacksonville Ascension this year. Dan Arnold's there for that, right? I get down with some Dan Arnold this year.
He had a couple of really good games in there.
Check him out real quick. I think I got some time. I'm liking this profile right off the bat. I'm liking this.
He's at the right age. He's got great metrics, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, I know Dan Arnold moved, like the Panthers traded him like after week 4 or 5. It was like, right?
Yeah, there was the Darnold to Dan Arnold. He had several games in a row with a touchdown from him.
Yeah.
And then they traded him, but I figured they were just doing that because the stock was high.
Yeah, so he's got a strange stat line here. But I'm liking it. I'm thinking Dan Arnold could definitely have a lot better year in 2022 for sure. With a much better Jacksonville offense. Get Travis Etienne back. You get a quarterback-friendly coach. Trevor Lawrence takes a big step forward. You draft a monster offensive, 10-year pedigree, fed steak and potatoes every day, 6'7", 400-pound lineman from Alabama in the first round. And now all of a sudden, Jacksonville's they're going to win a few more games in 2022. If their defense can, I'm hoping we could see some more Josh Allen sacking Josh Allen. That was fun.
That was unique. I like that.
Yeah,
I sold some Jaguar Josh Allens because of that.
Yeah? Hey, he was Jaguars Josh Allen was a 2019 rookie. If I was doing some research recently on 2019 rookies for an upcoming video. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this live stream. and share with a friend. The Josh Allen from the Jacksonville Jaguars drafted number 7 overall by the Jags in 2019.
I think I grabbed at the time I grabbed a couple 2 rookie ticket autos for like $4 or $5 of his. Oh no, Irv Smith's gone.
There's a run on tight ends right here. No, don't take Gronk. Please, please, please. This whole draft will be for nothing. No. The 17th round sleeper.
Let's see. I think you definitely got to take a second quarterback too.
You mean a third?
Oh, we got Winston. That's
yeah.
right.
I got Jameis.
Yeah, you might need to take a third later though. In the off event that he doesn't sign, I couldn't see him not starting for a team this year though. Rojo. Is Kashan Vaughan available?
I'm sure he is.
Really?
That would be a sleeper RB pick. Huskin, McKinnon, Darrell Henderson's still available.
Chuba Hubbard, there he is. Chuba Hubbard is still there, and the guy that drafted McCaffrey 2nd overall hasn't handcuffed him yet.
Or maybe he's thinking McCaffrey's not going to be in Carolina next year. Huh?
Also possible.
This is possible. This is a new reality that's about to kick off in just under a month. The new league year starts March 16th. I'm on the clock. McKinnon. Let's see. I think we go ahead and go. I don't think we risk it anymore. Go ahead and lock Gronk down.
Nice.
I reach.
That's you know what? That's either going to be the best or the worst pick of the draft. You know that.
Yeah, getting Gronk in the 17th round when if Brady retires, he could go to Cincinnati Bengals and play with Joe Burrow.
He did openly say that he would love to play in Cincinnati. So.
He did, man. He said that. Those were real words. I think Gronk wants to run it back with Joe Burrow if Brady retires. So I think at this point we go value RB wide receiver, maybe grab a secondary tight end. But we talked about Keyshawn Vaughn. I think Justin Jackson's a really good handcuff for Eckler. I'll go Keyshawn Vaughn here. He's all-purpose skill set. He's just fine play on Tampa Bay. Lenny could not make. There's a possibility he won't make it back. He's a free agent. Ronald Jones a free agent here pretty soon. So there's a chance both those guys don't make it back. That bumps Keyshawn Vaughn up to, being starting running back. Number 1 running back.
Yeah, I didn't think if Brady decided to play this year, I had a bold prediction. I never formally announced it, but I think if Brady decides to play, I still don't think that Fournette comes back or Rojo comes back, but I could see them going with Vaughn and a key free agent signing in Cordero Patterson. That's my bold prediction right there. But it requires Brady playing, though.
That is a bold prediction, but that would be. I want to. Okay.
Hey,
let's flag some guys and
check your private chat.
Let's see. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not a bad move. That's not a bad move. And look at who we got here. We got Malik Willis, who's a rookie. He's a dual threat rookie too, man. That'd be interesting. He could start day 1 somewhere. Wentz, Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, man.
Winston definitely doesn't get a lot of love, but we saw what he was capable of before he got hurt earlier in the year.
Davis
The
Mills.
general. Is there any more, of our handcuffs that are still out there, or maybe Deonta Foreman? Didn't he finish the season pretty well? He'll probably be playing somewhere else.
Yeah, you can see he did finish the season really well. You can see my picks over here on the right, the guys I got for running back. So I got Mixon. I'm not taking P. Ryan. P. Ryan. Bastard. David Montgomery, Cam Akers, Tony Pollard, Chase Edmonds, Keyshawn Vaughn. I would love to, let me see if I'll tell you who's a sleeper. Aha. Bingo. Right there, baby. Eno Benjamin is the handcuff you want with the Chase Edmonds. Eno Benjamin actually had a couple really explosive plays last year. And he wasn't printed in a ton of product. He got almost basically like the Darnell Mooney treatment in 2020 product. And you can see, the burst score, 88th percentile, 127.3. So pretty explosive. Got a pretty solid BMI. He's thick, 5'9", 207. College target share. This is why I say handcuff him with that Chase Edmonds. His college target share, Arizona State, 95th percentile. College dominator, 85th percentile. So those are some nice little advanced fantasy stats that say Eno Benjamin could definitely break out at the next level.
Towards the end of the year, Vegas was using Kenyon Drake a lot more favorably too. And it's important to note that, when you draft a guy like him in a best ball league, you're not essentially having to make that decision of starting him or sitting him. You're hoping that he has an explosive game and puts up the most points out of anyone on your team, and then he becomes your de facto starter, right?
Mm-hmm. You think Antonio Brown is going to play somewhere this upcoming year? Obviously not done playing, but the guy is just such a head case.
He's heavily linked to the Ravens. I don't know that it's going to happen or not, but I don't know. Does Lamar Jackson throw the ball enough to make him valuable? Valuable enough to draft him at this point of the draft, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. I see some guys down here, some really nice sleeper wide receiver plays. Is my guy Josh Palmer still out there?
No, he went
way,
like 2
right?
rounds ago.
Okay, I was gonna say.
And he went the pick before you too, but we weren't really paying attention.
He's not as much of a sleeper anymore.
No, if you look at or follow any of his eBay auctions, you'll see that people are high on him. I think I linked it in the Discord. There was an auction that I was watching of his that had 33 people watching, which is insane.
Wow. Yeah. By the way, guys, you're just joining the live stream. We are so happy to have you here at the first live stream after the Super Bowl, kind of really kicking off the start of this offseason. So we're doing a best ball draft that is probably way too early, but we're doing it anyway so we can get an idea of where everybody is currently ranked right now before the new league year starts, before the draft happens. This also includes 2022 rookies, so we're definitely taking those guys in consideration. And I've got my guys queued up here. We'll talk about my next pick, but I'm gonna move up. Oh, we missed out on the. I'm fine with taking Trey Sermon. Actually, that's perfectly fine. I probably don't need any more running backs though. But yeah, guys.
I would take a QB or a receiver next for sure.
I've got to, right?
You have to take a tight end, right?
Oh, I got Gronk.
That's true, but you might only have one tight end.
I got my secret weapon, Gronk.
But if he doesn't play, you have one tight end. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do got to get another. I got to queue up another tight end. Well, I like me some John Yu. I just don't know about that system with Hunter Henry. OJ Howard, Foster Moreau, like him. What if we trade OJ Howard? He goes somewhere, make a contribution, or Gronk gets traded. Now OJ Howard moves back up. Jameis comes back. Jameis was lighting up OJ Howard in circa 2019 and 18, whenever OJ Howard was healthy.
Yeah, Winston post corrective vision surgery looked like a different quarterback. And you have to remember, he was doing that on a different team. Like, imagine if he had the Buccaneers receivers. Like, there's not anyone of note that you could throw the ball to in Actually, I take that back. I like my Marquez Callaway, man. He's one of the biggest sleepers, in my opinion, for next season. I wonder if he's out there still. Is he still out there?
No way.
Yo.
He went, where did he get drafted? 186. So he's somewhere around here. Marquez Callaway. Yeah, there you go. 17th, middle of the 17th round. I mean, huge value to where he climbed up to preseason last year. Marquez Callaway preseason last year was like going like fourth, fifth round. Crazy.
Well, he had Winston throwing him the ball, and after Winston got hurt, that really diminished his value.
It really did, man. It really did. I just put the promo code in the chat for you, Late Stick. I think we're almost done with the draft, and then we're going to share with you this auction that ends tomorrow that Steve has handpicked for us. It's incredible value. I'm excited to share with you guys as a preview of what Steve and I have been talking about a few times throughout this. Late Sticks in our Discord server. But we have some incredible conversations in there, guys, about these guys. We share auctions back and forth. We got like a dozen different channels of all kinds of stuff going on in there. You guys get access to that at patreon.com/footballcards, only $6 a month. And you get a lot more takes from me at the same time. I know you guys want more takes from me, right?
There goes a few of the guys we were watching, Drake and Antonio Brown.
Dante Foreman, love it. Antonio Brown, end of the 19th. Going to end second to last round. Kenny Pickett, he's projected to go in the middle of the first round to a team that, I mean, he could start this year. Zamir White. See, some of these guys I have to do some. I haven't heard anything about Zamir White. I know he's a rookie. I mean, we got to get, I guess, just more wide receivers and tight ends. And I think if we're looking at my spread of wide receivers, we got Chase Edmonds. So I'd love to go ahead and snag Eno Benjamin. We got Gronk. Might as well get OJ Howard.
Yeah, I would take maybe Mills and Howard probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take OJ Howard. And that's kind of,
yeah. I mean, that's some advanced strategy right there. Because think about it, if Winston, who was your second pick, goes back to Tampa, which could happen, he's got a rapport with OJ Howard. That could be interesting.
Yeah, this could be a $50,000 winning roster right here, man. Never know. That's the stakes that we're playing for, that we're trying to get to. This is a massive tournament. That first place prize of $50,000. Yeah, so we do have a private draft that we'll get filled up. We'll do it maybe this weekend. I'm totally down if we fill it up this weekend. You can see we've got 3 of 12 spots filled, and here's the link. I'll post it in the description as well for you guys watching or rewatching this. And when we fill it up, we'll draft, man. We'll draft. Oh, I accidentally got a double tight end on my last pick. Whoops. Okay. Could be worse, but I really wanted to get
the curse of the watch list. It could work in your favor, might not, if you don't have it ordered properly.
All right, so going back, my question earlier when we were in the heat of the draft, these first round bell cow running backs, which one of these guys do you feel, Steve, best about investing in right now? Like if I gave you, $100, I might have to give you more. If I gave you $200 and I said you got to invest in one of these 6 first round bell cow running backs, which one are you picking for 2022?
I mean, I think the easy answer is Taylor, but his prices have come down a little bit. But Taylor or Najee would be the way I would go with that. And we saw, if you look at, we'll call it the Joe Mixon effect, right? Like, as great of a season as he had, his cards weren't exactly selling near some of these guys' levels, right? And it could be an age thing, and it's obviously not a success thing because he played well and they went to the Super Bowl. But I'm not saying Henry won't have another good year, but will he have as prolific of a year as he had, or will he go back to the old Derrick Henry again? So it's hard to say. But Jonathan Taylor's got a fresh set of wheels on him, and Harris did what he did with, we'll call it a weak-armed quarterback, an aging Roethlisberger, and a terrible offensive line. So maybe even the edge for Harris, because maybe his ceiling isn't quite hit yet.
And that's the thing, that fits in perfectly with my my formula for the hype index, because he's so young, man. He's a rookie, he's a 2021 rookie. And even though I get it, Najee Harris is a grown man, he's like 25 and going in his second year because he came in so late. But still, he's a rookie and he can drive a tremendous amount of hype. He's literally on the field almost 100% like Jonathan Taylor. And Jonathan Taylor and him are the same age. I think they're the youth. They're the new generation of running back. So I think they've got the most room for growth. So I agree with you. And Joel here, I see Joel pointing out Ramondre Stevenson on the Patriots. He had some explosive games. But I for those first round guys, I really like Najee and Jonathan Taylor still for investment purposes. There's just tons of complexity, tons of nuance you got to be aware of for 2020, 2021 rookies, because they've got thousands of different rookie cards available, and each with their own print run. So I've actually got videos coming out that I'm really focusing on dialing in where to pinpoint your investment. But we've got an example tonight, Steve, an auction you shared with me before the live stream started, and I've got it pulled up, man. I'm excited to share this with the people.
One of my favorite inserts, man.
One of your favorite inserts, also an insert that you believe, and I believe, that will get more hobby love going forward. So, boom, let's pull it up. And we're going back to T. Higgins, because why not, man? The guy can go off any week with Joe Burrow. We saw it happen in the Super Bowl. I saw some of his cards shoot up 300% for a quick, span of an hour. And this is bad pictures. Like, you can't see that this card. So this is an insert from 2020 Chronicles, right, Steve?
The card surface is beautiful on those. It actually is a red prism, and you wouldn't know that from the flat image he took. But those cards are really
terrible
good.
Picture.
I think in the right light, the auction would have been already bid up quite a bit higher.
And this is a terrible picture because he's got it in a scratched up rookie card top loader with a penny sleeve, and it's a great card, man, because it's got a beautiful red refractor prism sheen to the front of it. It's got this bold reddish orange outline around T. Higgins. He's in an action pose, so it's almost got like a field level look to it. It's all color matched. It's got a rookie card logo. And the cool thing about this is there's not even a back picture of this card, so you can't see it. But this one is serial numbered out of 99, right, Steve?
Yeah. I do own that card myself. I love Dynagons. I have and own several different players. I unfortunately sold my Herbert and Burrows that I had, but yeah, I mean, I really like those, and I think that is far, far below what that card should be going for.
It's only at $2.25 right now. It ends tomorrow night, and I think that this is an undervalued set. It's obviously a player that quickly falls off of people's radars when he's not in the super mega limelight with Joe Burrow, because the natural attention gravitates towards Jamar Chase, and I'm just going to keep hammering T. Higgins if that's going to be the case. You know, if T. Higgins falls that many rounds below Jamar Chase, and I'm just gonna keep hammering the low hanging fruit in T. Higgins there. So I really like this auction, and I'm gonna watch it. I'm not gonna bid on it because you know, this one's for you guys, but you know, definitely want to watch. I don't know what's not even letting me watch it. What's up, Nick? Nick, Mr. N, we got to get you a profile pic, Nick. James 88 in the house. Herbert, Eckler. Oh yeah, baby. The Chargers are gonna be lit. I'm looking forward to watching.
I've had Eckler on my keeper team since his rookie year, and he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, that Justin Herbert, Carl of that Dynagon Justin Herbert is fire. Zach Taylor has cards. I don't want any Zach Taylor cards. Nick, that's all you, man. Go for it, brother. Oh, Zach Taylor.
One more thing for that T. Higgins is there's a lot of prism cards out there that I'll get, like the optic previews, right? Like the pink optic previews that in the right light look purple. And that's not entirely the seller's fault. This particular card, since I own it, I can verify that in the light, it's actually hard to discern if it's orange or red, which means if you're collecting it as a color match, it's actually really, really close.
Ooh. I want to see if there's better pictures. 2020.
You might find mine. I think it's still listed.
Yeah. I know you take some good pictures.
Oh yeah, man. I learned from you.
Oh, this is yours. I recognize that background.
Yeah.
I think you do it on like the same countertop.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
It's a jersey number match too.
Oh man, got a jersey number match. Oh yeah, look at that. 85, 99. And see, this is how you know what's up. You got one that you could potentially snipe in auction tomorrow night for $10. Now, of course, I know you've got yours listed for a significant profit at 110, but this is a type of card that I think over time becomes more scarce. Obviously, matched to jersey number, which we know holds more value. It's a cool card, man. I could see someone impulsive, a big breakout performance from T. Higgins, you know, get carried away with the emotions and make an impulsive buy at 110 for this.
Yeah, you could see on the card like the orange in some spots, even though it's a red card. Yeah, I mean, did I price it high? Yeah, but you know what? I priced it to sell around the Super Bowl, and even though it's not the Super Bowl anymore, is that ridiculously high? I mean, there's people that collect jersey number, serial number cards specifically, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and one thing to keep in mind is for a receiver, especially most receivers that have numbers in the 80s, if you get a subset out of 10 or 20, there's not going to be a jersey number, right? You have to go up to the 99 tier to find their jersey number.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. I'm going to look and see where T. Higgins went in this draft. We saw Jamar Chase go number 2 overall. Where did our boy T. Higgins go? Third, beginning of third. So he fell almost 2 full rounds after Jamar. He went pretty high, though. So I agree with you, Carl. He's definitely getting a lot more attention, I think, this year. Last year, his ADP wasn't that high. I'm going to see if let me exit out of this. Let me get back to this.
It was probably between 80 and 100, if I had to guess.
Last year?
Yeah, if I had to guess.
Yeah, so look at 2021 Best Ball. I did win 3 of the 6 persons, and I got third in 4 12 persons. This 12 person, Mike Ham, who was in the chat earlier, won first place. He won $32. Filthy C, he's in our Discord server, won second place. You see the Card Dojo there came in 5th place. But we can go, what's interesting, we can go to this draft and we can look at the results and we can look and see where T. Higgins was taken.
Wow, look at Diggs going 4th.
Diggs went 1st overall in this draft. Yeah, 4th from
Calvin
Raven
Ridley, man. I'll be honest.
That was Raven Invest.
I was guilty of drafting Calvin Ridley high myself in a couple drafts this year. I really thought he was going to have a great season, but man, him just quitting halfway through.
Here he is, 5th round. So ADP was lower, but compared to Jamar Chase, look, he was ahead of Jamar Chase. Now Jamar Chase is going way up here, and T. Higgins has moved up here. Robert Woods dropped way down here, missed half the season, injury, plus you had the Cooper Kupp breakout. Where's Cooper Kupp? 5th round. This is why fantasy and football cards make so much sense. Cooper Kupp was here. Now he's bingo up here with Diggs, and as a result, his rookie cards have gone up like 1,000%. Jamar Chase, same thing. Chris Godwin was on that track until he got hurt. Son of a. So good stuff, man.
T. Higgins, I found on fantasypros.com was was estimated to be drafted 238th overall or the 74th wide receiver. Wow.
There's value.
Yeah, that's a come up.
I'll take it. I'll take it because I think the Bengals are gonna be throwing it a lot. You're gonna have Zach Taylor through 2026, man. He's gonna be throwing it 50 times and a half. You never know.
I hope so.
But P. Ryan will be in there on 4th down, 4th and 1, 3rd and 2. It's P. Ryan that's getting it, guys.
Let's hope not.
Will says stacking up on Higgins for a while. Probably should have sold during the Super Bowl, but do you think I should sell leading up to 2022 season or sell once he has a good performance? It depends on how bad you need the money, man. I'd hold on to it. I think Bengals are definitely going to have a potentially hot start to their season. They're going to be having a chip on their shoulder, obviously. And, I think you can definitely make money on T. Higgins in the short term based on where he's going in this draft, leading up into the NFL draft. Right now, we're seeing cards still sell on a daily basis. Like I'm seeing a lot of cards sell, especially for these guys, these top players. And so I think you can make T. Higgins here in the short term if you need the capital to invest in something else, to move around, move product, whatever you need to do. Or you can wait. I think September, if they come out hot, T. Higgins has a big game. You may have to wait till December. At some point, T. Higgins is going to have a monster game again, and the Bengals will again be in a limelight scenario that's going to present a wonderful buying opportunity. So it's just a matter of, what you need to do with that budget. Wouldn't you agree, Steve?
Yeah, I think that if you can get the number you're looking for any of your T. Higgins cards right now, don't give a discount if you're planning on holding on to it for a quality sale. But if you can get close to what you're asking for it, sell it and go for a couple more. See if you can buy a couple on an auction somewhere and sell yours to buy a couple more T. Higgins cards, you know, and just keep the ball rolling. What up?
Keep the ball rolling. Like if you want to sell a T. Higgins, buy a Justin Fields, because Justin Fields is super cheap right now, isn't he, Steven? And we got the Hitman. The Hitman, I know he's not in the city of Chicago. He's probably lives 45 minutes out in the suburbs, but he's a true Chicago Bears fan, and he is he's in tight, man, with the McCaskills, right? Is it the McCaskills, the owners? The McCaskies.
Yeah, Fields, you know, his card values are low in comparison to what they were, but they're still not that low. I mean,
okay,
if a veteran QB had the season Fields had, like, you could give his cards away, right? But the hope is that with the coaches they brought in, that they'll have a improved offense. And you know, little known fact, since you mentioned a little background on me, one of my first memories as a child was the Bears winning the Super Bowl, and I was only a year old, which is very uncommon, but true story.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. You remember it vividly, though? Like,
I do, yeah. And people that young shouldn't really be having that much of memory retention, but I definitely do. I guess it was that significant.
Something that big of an event, and you see how passionate you are about football today. I mean, I see it every day, man. Steve is dropping the fire in the Discord server over at patreon.com/footballcards. That's where you can find us later tonight. I'm sure we'll be there tomorrow morning. Auction Sniper article comes out, and we've got some big videos coming out tomorrow, this weekend. Excited to have all you guys on the quest, but we are out of here till next week. Peace.
More drafts coming.
Oh, hell yes, more drafts are coming. Gotta get a little bark in before we get out of here.
Just when I thought you forgot about me.